Hey, Sandra, y'all. Welcome. Scotch on the Bayou. Happy New Year. It's a snow day. It's been a snow day. I know that may not be a big deal for some of you, but it's a really big deal down here on the bayou because there is snow on the bayou. Lots and lots of snow. And so, yeah, we're going to have fun with that. It's going to be a loose and fun kind of evening tonight, y'all. Lots of updates and kind of coming back up for air after the holidays. And just want to say how much I appreciate everybody hanging in there. Got lots to talk about tonight. Gonna have a few drams. You tell me what y'all are drinking, and I want to say hey to everybody who's already been on for a good bit. And I see, I love this Sugar Kitty. Good to see you, friend. And wanted to know if it was a thing if we make snow gators down here on the bayou. Lots of snow angels were made. I don't know about a snow gator. I would imagine the gators were about as excited about the snow as my dog Tula was, which was not so much. But yeah, they were probably really chill literally today considering they're cold-blooded animals. But yeah, I would imagine they were having a time. Got a couple of pictures from the camp to kind of give you an idea, which I can't even imagine. It's a good, about 45 minutes to an hour south of even us. So crazy, crazy weather that we're experiencing. But let's see who else is in. Stacy's in. Forley Fisky. Hey, my friend. I know you know what snow is in the chill. This is so out. We are such a duck out of water with this kind of weather. Let me tell you, we don't own well, I think there was one Bob truck they retrofitted to salt bridges because we have lots and lots of bridges here because we have lots and lots of water, right? But we don't have the infrastructure that like northern towns do to be able to live with snow. So, and thankfully, that's what it's just been is snow. But it's about to turn to ice, so that's a whole nother thing. Um, Bruce is in. Hey, it's going to be -20 in Southern Illinois. Yeah. Mm-mm. No, no, that's a hard no. We're getting down to 13 here, which is crazy. That's crazy, crazy, crazy cold. And we have, we're in a subtropical environment and we've got our plants, some of our plants put together and covered with heat lamps under them. Hopefully we can keep them going, but I don't know. It's going to get really, really cold. See, Donna's in. Hello, friend. So good to see you from Mill Valley with her Glencairn. You have to tell me what you're drinking tonight, Donna. And as Mark says here, he's talking about the dogs and Rue and Tula are going to sleep really good tonight, and because they were enjoying they were enjoying the weather, that's for sure. Absolutely for sure. Trooper lives for even further south than us, and look at that, 12 and a quarter inches. We were right at 6 inches, Trooper. And I mean, but we had some drifts that were probably 8 and 10, that kind of thing. But we had this one table, and you'll see it in the pic in a minute, that was out kind of in the middle of open space. And Mark was diligent and downright scientific to get out there and to be able to measure it. But friend, oh, saving the fruit trees. I know we picked all the satsumas we could possibly get to off of our fruit tree, our citrus tree, and it's got snow on the ones at the very tippy top that we couldn't get to. So I feel you, friend. I hope you're able to save them. I know that one real bad winter we had, they didn't make the next year, but he came back. So there's thoughts. Hopefully that works. Hey Jerry, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we had to skip last time because I was under the weather, and but we're back and got all kinds of fun stuff we're going to be doing for this year, for sure. Man, just good seeing make a dram decision. Hello, happy new year. Thanks for being here. Love the name. If people would just make the dram decision, I'm telling you. I have decided to have an independent bottling of Milton Duff. Never will see a Milton Duff from the distillery on a shelf in my neck of the woods. This is a single cask, 11-year in oak barrel. So I'm guessing it's just a refill bourbon. 53%, and it was distilled in May 2008 and bottled July 2019. So this is what I'm having, and this is a hint as to one of the things I want to talk about tonight, which is kind of exciting. Yeah, so this is a Duncan Taylor bottling, and ooh, it's just like a fruit bowl on the nose. Very, very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Stacy, I'm going to be on Stacy's show coming up in March. More about that in a bit. Taste and Sensibility. Hello. And Slanja, y'all, tell everyone. Rob's in. I hope, yes, everybody's staying warm. We're all cozy. I'm really happy that's a snow event and we still have power. Hence, we have a show because wasn't quite sure that was going to happen. Again, no infrastructure for this kind of stuff, so we're excited about it. And we'll see. So yeah, let's talk about that. So Taste and Sensibility. Okay, y'all got 6 to 8 inches in Laplace. Wow, haven't seen that in the 24 years you've lived there. So see, that's the thing that people don't understand. We have more snow in Baton Rouge than we've had since the 1800s. Let that sink in a little bit with the amount of snow that we've had. Same thing for New Orleans. The last time they had that much snow was in the 1800s. The last time they had, I think, more than 4 inches, 4 or 6 inches, was in 1962. Mark, I think, was what y'all were talking about. It just doesn't happen here, right? This storm was so crazy because it was actually snowing 20 miles into the Gulf of Mexico. Think about the amount of heat that body of water, and yes, it is still the Gulf of Mexico, that body of water actually holds, and for it to still be snowing 20 miles offshore is just mind-blowing to me. So I wanna share a couple of fun little pieces here of our day because it was fun. I got to work at home. I got a whole lot done, but we took some breaks and to get the dogs, which I don't think Rue has ever seen snow until today. But yeah, so today, this was a lot of fun. Mark, after it really got going, this was about, I don't know, it was about 10:30 or 11 o'clock this morning. It was really coming down, and the dogs were, I don't know, what is this stuff, that kind of thing. Just absolutely beautiful. We live in a heavily wooded area, but we have one particular area of our backyard that's pretty wide open. So you can see it really accumulated nicely. And then here I am with the dogs, and I ended up taking the lead off of Rue and just letting him run zoomies around. But you can see how much is coming down, y'all. It just looks like it truly was a snow shower, which for us is super crazy, really crazy. But after all the fun, everybody was worn out. So what do? You come in and everybody chilled on the couch, which was great. Rue's up in my chair and he's like, "Yeah, I'm done." Teal's like, "Cover me up," and even Mark's trying to rub his feet to warm them up, I think, a little bit. But that kind of gives you an idea that just we don't. This is usually green tropical. Like there's green grass, there's green St. Augustine grass under all that snow. And keep in mind that it will be 70 on Monday. So it is fleeting in that. But this was after it all went through. This was about 5:30, right when the sun's going down. It got really yellow, then pink and purple skies. Just beautiful. There's our sugar kettle down here, has some fish in it. They're absolutely fine. And this frog, it was a fountain frog from Mark's family way back in the day, and he's not real happy, that's for sure. Uh, but yeah, so our camp neighbors, um, Rick sent us this. This is the camp. There literally is snow on the bayou, folks. Snow on the bayou. So he's on the road, and you go down the little hill. This is the Borrow Pit. Basically, it's this slough or bayou of water that this earth was dug up to make the road bed where the guy's standing to take the picture higher so it wouldn't flood. We've got a walking bridge over, and here's our little camp. And I just love that I don't know if you can see well on this picture, but really the only thing you can see that has any color to it is the American flag, which is pretty cool. And then let me flip around here and there. So this is a little further down. So here's the walking bridge right here. But this is the camp and our little shed with fish cleaning station back here. But this is frozen over. This is running water. That doesn't happen down here. I mean, it is not frozen over to walk on it by any means. But you would go down like Fraser, believe me. But back behind here is where you walk out to go to the river, where the pier is and everything. So just crazy to see this much snow down here, and how much fun it's been to be out in it and to play in it. It was real powdery. There's lots of snowmen being built and everything. So yes, there's me measuring this. All the snow on this table made it look like this wedding cake. It was so crazy. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, playing with that and getting to be part of it and have fun with them during the day. Definitely a lot of fun. Oh, So I'm doing in the Milton Duff. Donna is having the Art in America tour. Oh, so that's the new bottling. Ooh, definitely would like. I think a certain Scotsman on the West Coast is sending me one of those pretty soon. Maybe he'll pipe in tonight. It would be great to see him too. Yeah, we had the first ever blizzard warnings for Louisiana ever, ever. Ever, and it was really mainly in Southwest Louisiana around Lake Charles and Lafayette. So crazy. Martin, hey, my whiskey pickleball friend, playing friend. Check him out at Whiskey Dink, all about it, doing whiskey reviews and reviewing equipment for pickleball. It's awesome. I didn't know if y'all got, I know y'all probably got snow a couple weeks ago. I didn't think y'all were a little further north in Texas than what got a bit like Beaumont and Houston. It's been a hot mess for sure over there. So for sure. Goodness. So Stacy has some Irish whiskey. What a shocker. I so wanted to make your show Sunday. People go back and watch her show from Sunday with 2 stacks. I literally had a little spill, so I was not able to go. I was doing some pre-storm prep and ended kind of not doing well. Yeah, so you're just getting the really cold temps, Martin. I understand. Yeah, but go check out that. She's getting some rock and roll folks on her show. You've got to go check her out for sure. And Martin's got some Kilhoman rocking. Oh, very nice. Very nice. So cold it is. Burr. So yeah, crazy weather. And so I wanted to take a little minute while I'm drinking this really good stuff and talk about the year. I had to cancel the show 2 weeks ago. And over Christmas holidays, I've not had some health things going on. I've been trying really hard to, take care of myself and get healthy and getting up there. I ain't a spring chicken anymore, and doing some things. But I had some indications that some things were not going well. It's really important to listen to yourself and listen to how you're feeling and do something about it and not wish it away or not take it seriously, because I had something going on. I don't want to like just get all into details, but enough to where I needed to pay attention to something. And I'm very happy to say that I'm doing super. I'm feeling better than I have felt in years, actually. But I had to take some time for myself to kind of get that right. And doing great, doing super. And I have a couple of doctors I've been working with that I absolutely adore. Both of them really do like whiskey. And one particular watches the show. So Dr. Fontenot, if you're on, hey, thanks. But we're doing great. We got a plan going forward, and things are going well. So apologies for being a little MIA after the first of the year, but it's important to take care of yourself. Dry January, if that's something you need to do to take care of yourself. If it's dry any month, not just January, things to take care of yourself and just to pay attention to how your body's working. And if it's not, then finding the things you need to do to get that there. So I'm there. We're getting there. I'm happy. It's all good. Don't want to be like too dramatic about it, but yeah, just pay attention and be good to yourself and take care of yourself. I've got some JT Millick Louisiana rice whiskey. That stuff, yes, to remind you of where you are. Good stuff. I even took a bottle of that to Scotland 2 years ago and shared it with some folks. Very, very tasty stuff that they're making, especially their single barrel. Interesting enough, it's not as sweet to me as bourbon, I guess because of the rice. And truly, it is just rice. It's not a rice mix with the corn. It's crazy. So yeah, looking forward to that. Big stuff for this year, big plans. We are working, my brother Ethan and I are working on revamping our website, graphics. You're going to see a lot of the live show stuff get a reboot and a refresh, all those types of things. Time, new year, time to renew and and to work through some of that. So I'm excited about that. So that's coming, a little here and there in the next couple of months for sure. So I say like this thing was like a fruit bowl on the nose. So carries on with the taste. It's almost got a bit of a confectioner sugar instead of a fruit sweetness, but it's also kind of orchardy, like fresh apples, maybe slightly a pear kind of thing going on, a little bit of vanilla. Not so much on the honey kind of stuff that I normally get with a bourbon, an ex-bourbon cask, but definitely really, really sweet on the nose. Not much of an oak taste or nose. Sometimes oaks can get a little bit too woody, if you would. This one is really very bright and almost busy. Yeah, Bruce. Dry January. It's important to do that. I mean, especially after the holidays, because I know I participated in a 25-day long advent calendar. Granted, I didn't hit all of them, and especially with all that was going on. But yeah, it's important to be good to yourself. Speaking of brothers, I was just talking about you, about our work on the website. Yes, it is very cold. It's Birchill. Like, so all this snow is not going to go anywhere because we're getting down to 13 tonight. And then tomorrow, I think we get up to 37 and sunshine. So that's going to melt a little bit. And then we get back down into the upper teens. So then it's going to freeze all over again. So we're in this holding pattern till at least Thursday or Friday, which is fine. I ain't got anywhere to go. Psh, that's it. Yes, we're going to be working on the website, and so refresh, give it a new look. I want to do more writing, and not just the videos, but do more writing on that, and stories, especially of the travels and that type of thing. And I also want to have a way to be able to offer our glasses and coins and different swag online. And so that's going to allow us to be able to do that super, super easy. Super easy. We another dram to keep you warm. I like this. Port Charlotte 7. I'm guessing it's PC 7. Yum. That sounds tasty. Mm, mm, mm. Very cool. So yeah, this Saturday is a big deal, right? It is Burns Night, Robbie Burns celebration, the anniversary of his birthday. Being able to laud the Bard of Scotland and really, guarantee you sing one of his songs every single year on December 31st of Auld Lang Syne. It's just something, that just it's to think all of what Scotland has given the world, between the engineering and whiskey. But Robert Burns brought a language to the people when they didn't have a voice. And so that's a reason that he is still lauded to this day. And so this Saturday is Burns Night. Last Saturday, Mark and I went to a local Burns Night dinner celebration. And it was for the Caledonia Society of Baton Rouge. And it was our first event with them. And it was really neat to be able to attend and hear the bagpipes and all the men in kilts and the drummers. Oh my gosh. And all the things that they do with the drums. And it was very, very cool. But so you had to take something to share, kind of a potluck kind of thing. And they wanted you to do something that would have been, kind of Scottish food. So I dug around. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. There's a woman on Instagram. She's in Australia, but she's Scottish. Is Roving Haggis, and she is absolutely adorable. And she makes all these different traditional Scottish foods, or she'll take a traditional Scottish food and she'll kind of tweak it. So she made these Balmoral chicken Balmoral sausage rolls. Well, I just used pork sausage and it called for haggis. I had no haggis, but I had boudin. So that caramelized onions with whiskey reduction. Yes, indeed. I used Arrington and that. Prosciutto, and you wrap it all up in puff pastries. And I cut them in little sections and then cooked them. And there was not one left afterwards. They were really tasty. Very, very tasty, indeed. And yes, Martin, medicine, Scottish doctors pioneered so many aspects of medicine. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So yeah, it was the Burns Night. So I took some bottles. Also had, in addition to these three, I had the Arrington, Rasay, Gincana, and Lochgorham, Kilhoman. And then I also brought the Glenglossy Sandin. 2 peated, 2 not peated. And it was nice to be able to share that. It was interesting to see what other people brought. I was definitely probably the diehard attendee with what I wanted to drink, but it was nice to visit with people. And This gentleman here sat next to us, and he was absolutely a delight. This is my buddy Jim. Oops, go back here a little bit. This is my buddy Jim, who I met that night. So now we're buddies. Look at the sporin. OMG, y'all. And he made that. He made this. He was a Navy veteran. Absolutely delightful. And he made that sporin from an alligator bag. That is so hilarious. Okay. Hey, Ian, I see you just piped in there. Have you ever seen a sporin like this? And I'm like, I want one. And basically, back in the 50s, they would make these kind of handbags with an alligator on them. Usually they came from Cuba or Miami or somewhere like around there. And he took an old vintage alligator purse and reworked it into a sporin. And I thought that was absolutely amazing. It just was so very, very cool. But yeah, that was the highlight. Along with the dressing the haggis. That was amazing as always. So Ian said, I've seen a fox and other animal, with animal head, but yeah, not, we do things a little differently down here. But still, I thought it was super. And then we had our picture taken with the flags and Robert Burns over there, bands going in the back. And then we laughingly called it, we went to Scottish prom. And shout out to my friend Jennifer, because she had sent me that tartan scarf a long time ago, a couple years ago, and it was perfect to be able to wear with this. So it was a lot of fun. It was a good group of people, super nice, and it was neat to see a local group that, they were excited about celebrating the culture. Whiskey was there, but whiskey wasn't the focus. It was really the culture. And I bring that part up because it's so much like, and I know I've said it before, but I don't think people quite understand, unless you're from down here, that there's so many similarities between Scottish culture and Louisiana or Cajun culture, because they were just told, you don't need to live here anymore. You can't use your language anymore. So what happened is Robert Burns says, well, yes, we'll be talking like this. And yes, we'll be writing these things and keeping that language alive. You've got a Kaylee, and you've got a Fado Doe. You've got these same community-based events that bring people together in dance and music. So it's just really cool to see how that similarity, even down to the fact that you can't wear tartan, you can't speak French, you can't speak Gaelic. All of those things have so many similarities to it. So I think we kind of resonate with that, especially beyond the fact that all of these people were direct descendants of people who came over from Scotland at some point. So it was really cool to be part of that event and get to visit with folks and that kind of stuff. It was cool, really cool. Hey, Rick's in. Hey, happy New Year to you. Good to see ya. Have to let me know what you're drinking. I know I seem to remember, Rick, that Santa Claus brought you a lot of really cool bottles this year, for sure. Mm. We had I don't really splurge a whole lot this year on whiskey overall or at all. Mainly just kind of I got a couple, I need to drink what I have. And some big news coming up here in a little bit. Also, again, as a teaser related to this independent bottling of Duncan Taylor, I I got a lot of whiskey I need to just kind of go through for sure. Um, and this next thing I'm excited to share is something I was talking to Rick a little bit this week about is I got contacted from the folks from Whiskey EDU. You check them out on Instagram, and it's whiskey edu. They do whiskey education and tastings. They're mostly, and Donna, you may know about Douglas and those folks because they're West Coast, like you all, like you and Rick know everybody on the West Coast because you're on the West Coast, right? um, but yeah, so they do different tastings, and they are actually working with different suppliers, and they'll be doing a Super Bowl party because the Super Bowl is here in New Orleans in only like what 2.5, 3 weeks. So yeah, it's on the 8th, I believe. So right, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or the night, something like that. Anyway, so they're going to have a Super Bowl party. They did this last year in Vegas, and it was a really big hit. And they're going to have lots of celebrities and former players from different teams and all. But it's called The Art of Whiskey, and Impex is going to be there. So I'll be helping pour Impex, which, if you don't know, have some of my favorite brands that they bring into the US. And that would be Olive Brasse, Kilhoman, Netnian, and Ardnamurchan. And gosh, there's so many. There was one other one I was thinking about. But yeah, so we're gonna be pouring those. This is, as long as you have some Rasse, I'll pour. So Mark and I are going to be doing that event on the 6th of February down in New Orleans. Really pretty cool. You can learn more about that on Whiskey EDU, either the website or at Instagram. I know they've been doing a lot of promotion about that and releasing who the people are going to be there. The setting for this is really interesting because, where they may have this at a hotel or, some other kind of, convention type venue, we're actually going to be having the event at MS Rao Antiques on Royal Street in the Quarter. So this is an absolutely gorgeous place with art and jewelry. And I mean, they have an entire listing for sale of Chagall stuff right now. They have, the masters. They have unbelievable jewelry. Having it in that kind of that bougie of a setting and that gorgeous, gorgeous building on Royal is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm gonna have to get all gussied up for that one for sure. But we're really, really super excited about that and learning more about what they're doing. But Art of Whiskey, that's going to be fun. I'll be posting more about that coming up. Oyster plates, girl, they got oyster plates. They got oyster plates from the 1800s if you want one. But let me know if you need an oyster plate because I can get you one that's not nearly that expensive. But my mom's an antique dealer. She gets them all the time, or can find them anyway. But yeah, so that's some more fun stuff. Hey, look who's in. Happy Tuesday. We are doing our best. We're nice and warm and cozy and very thankful for electricity because we don't do cold down here and it's going to be cold at night. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. What else? Oh, let's see. I know Victoria Whiskey Festival was this past weekend. Would have loved to have gone back, but we just have to wait for another time for sure. Always really good event. If you ever get a chance to go do that, do it. It's one of the best masterclass curriculum tastings festivals I've ever went to. Many festivals are where you go and you go to table to taste and have a grand tasting. Glasgow Whiskey Festival was like that. Absolutely wonderful. Most of our local stuff is like that. They have that at Victoria Whiskey Festival, but um, and this is in British Columbia, Canada, but it's an entire day of master classes where you just really you hear from sometimes the distillers, sometimes the ambassadors that are really going through process and steps and walking you through the drams. I think the Compass Box when we went to had 10 different variations to taste, including 3 or 4 of the Flaming Hearts to be able to compare. It was crazy, crazy good. So can't say enough about that for sure. Um, uh, so you were there and I was told you would be there next year. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. That's for sure. That's for sure. Um, Speaking of impacts, you're currently enjoying Kilhoman's new Oak single cast distillery exclusive. So that was one of the 45,000 bottles you brought back from your trip this year, right? I mean, Martin, I know you and I think I'm gonna say you brought what back 20. I brought back like 18 and 80 samples. Rick beat us both. I don't know. I don't know. He did some quantum physics mojo. 45. Oh, that was the 45 whiskeys. Yes. Okay, Jerry, I'm catching up, friend. I'm sorry. Yes, 45 different whiskeys. Um on Saturday. So that was at least 4 master classes, I would guess, much less what you did Friday night during that master class or during the tastings, during the grand tasting. But you're here with us, so we know you survived, Jerry. I'm really impressed. So very impressed. Um, really, that's amazing. Good people, such good people. Really cool atmosphere. Jennifer and I did that 2 years ago, and we ended up having to take a seaplane from Seattle to get in there because we thought we could take a ferry, but they were all shut down. It was what do we know, you know? um, you know, okay, fair enough. I did the same thing. Martin did the same thing. But okay, so all right, here. Were you overweight? Did you pay for overweight? Because we were underweight. I will say that. We were like not to be too TMI, but we threw away 2 pair of shoes and just about all the underwear Mark had because he needed new. Before we, he had what he had on and a couple pairs, but yeah, tell me you were over limit, and I'll feel better about that. um, that's awesome. It looks like Donna's going to a Lockley tasting. That's going to be nice. Yeah, let me know what y'all got coming up. And then hold up, talk about yourself and have a drink. And then I've got a big news I want to share and I'm super excited about. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So the classes, you totaled 18 drams from that. It was the grand tasting. And then late night. Wow. Okay. Still 2 a.m. Jerry, I'm impressed. Those late night drams can really get there. I will tell you that is when this phenomenon happens, when you go from adorable to precious. When you go from adorable to precious, it's time to go home. When you're at precious, you're done. You need to go back to your room and go to bed. I had to tell a friend of mine that year I went that she was approaching precious at light speed rate and she needed to go to bed. That's a true friend. That's awesome. Oh, and seriously, people find it cheaper to pay for a golf bag, which you can pack with piles rather than overweight. Oh my heavens. Look, you've heard it here. The hack, the bottle shipping hack of the year. Ian, what a hoot. I love it. That's great. Um, so yeah, some kind of I'd hoped to be doing some more travel. I didn't get to go to Scotland last year. Mark went on his big trip to England, found really cool stuff in the ground. And he's going back this year, which I'm so excited about. He had so much fun, and I'm thrilled that he's going to go back and dig around southern England again, for all kinds of treasures. Um, but I need to get back to Scotland. And when I had this little like health hiccup, I was like, oh, I can't go. I'm cool. I'm going. Carpe diem and all that kind of stuff, y'all. This ain't no dress rehearsal. I'm going to Scotland. That's my news. I'm going to Scotland. What am I doing? I'm going and building this little, it's a very quick trip in March, literally in a couple of weeks, just 2 months, basically. And I am going to the Independent Spirits Festival, the first ever Independent Spirits Festival. Hence the independent bottling from Duncan Taylor. Y'all, this is going to be fun. This is going to be super fun. If you don't know about this, it's basically a spinoff brainchild of a couple of different things. But the event itself is on the 15th of March. It's on the Ides of March. And there's going to be a docuseries screening at noon. And then the festival is from 4 to 8. Well, so the festival screening is a 4-part docuseries that is all on independent spirits. So we're basically going to the premiere of that. And if you think about that, I know most of you all saw the Water of Life film. Well, Greg is at it again, and they've built upon that to do this docuseries. And so that's when they're going to be able to premiere it there at the festival. That's I'm so super stoked. So why there? So they've got so check it out. I'm gonna put this in the chat so you can learn more about it. There we go. They go through, and they were supposed to actually, I think, premiere this during Glasgow Whiskey Festival. But in talking with a couple of folks that we already know, right? These folks. This guy on the right, we really know. So Roy and David Stark, independent bottling, the Scotch. This guy, David Stark. Awesome. So they kind of figured out what they wanted to do with it, and build something that was an event to celebrate those independent bottlings, those folks who kind of wanted to do their own thing. So I'm really excited about this. It's going to be in Leith, which is just outside of Edinburgh. It's where Portaleith Distillery is. It's where the Britannia is. So anybody else want to jump on and come on over? But they're going to have the theater. At the Leith Theater. They'll have the screening of the docuseries, and then 4 hours of whiskey from independent bottlers. And I just wanted to kind of run through the exhibitor list to kind of look at and see, because here in the States, some of these are just going to be like total unknowns for us, because we have no exposure to some of these independent brands. I mean, yeah, I've seen an Adelphi and Cadenhead, a Carnmore here in the States, but some of these other ones we never have seen. And unless you are fortunate enough to get over to Scotland to be able to explore this part of whiskey, you're just kind of like out of sight, out of mind, right? So Duncan Taylor, that I'm having now, Decadent Drinks, folks that have gone to festivals over there will recognize a lot of these brands, but you don't, again, know them. They're not always going to be over on the shelf here. So circle back to scotchdrinkersonly.com. They're pulling some of these folks in to the US as the importer so we can actually have access to them. One of which is Dram More, you know. That's a big one that they're bringing in. Yes, you can get a Gordon and MacPhail every once in a while here. Fib whiskey, that's new. Fragrant Drops, Lady of the Glen is another one that is that's being imported by Scotch Drinkers Only. Little Brown Dog, my buddy Mike Stewart, who has Inverurie Whiskey Inverurie Whiskey Shop. He's real good friends with these folks and has their bottlings. Never ever heard about them until I went to his shop, because we just don't have the exposure. North Star Spirits, something we won't get here because of name infringement. I think is going to be a problem there. Yes, SNWS, Single Cask Nation, those, but these others, I mean, Turntable we don't have. Thompson Brothers, only our friends over on the West Coast are have been blessed to be able to find those, but we can't for the most part find them over here. Woodrow's I never heard of, but came home with a bottle of that from Mike's shop. So I'm super just really excited about be able to delve into these and learn more. I want to go back and reread this book, Independent Scotch. If you haven't read this, get one. David Stirk is just amazing. He's got quite a few books out there, but he catalogs and talks about the history of the independent bottlers and really what they are and what they aren't. I think a lot of people think, oh, they just go buy a cask and throw it in a bottle, and that's not it. They have their own casking strategies. They buy, spirit straight off of the still and do what they want to with it. Yes, may actually get one, a cask and bottle it, but it has to be right, so pretty cool. So Rob, yeah. So Andrew Smith. So the Blether is my friend Mike's show. It comes on right before Roy's show. So it's a really good precursor to watch. But he has quite a few folks, and especially independent bottlers that are on there. I've been on his show. So you just never know. So yeah, Jerry, I hate you're missing it, but you'll know when it's going to be next year, and maybe you can get back over. So it's going to be pretty interesting. So I'm going to do that. So that's just right there. I get there on Friday, and that is all Saturday. So then I have the entire next week, and it's still a little gelatinous on what I'm doing. But I will say, patrons, I'm going to have a poll for you all to like weigh in on a couple of different places I'm thinking about going, like Falkirk and Falkirk and Rosebank, or perhaps Lunder's Abbey, King's Barn, some different things, and we'll put it to vote and see where I end up on that. I've got an event I'm really excited about being able to do on the Friday before I come back home in Edinburgh, and then I'll be over in Glasgow. Anytime you can go to the Pot Still and the Bon Accord, I'm sure I'll find Roy. Graham and I are trying to figure out what kind of shenanigans we want to get into. But yeah, lots and lots of fun stuff for sure. Rick, I understand. I feel for you, friend. Oh, and yes, you do want to go to Springbank School. Okay, so Rick, you came in a little late, but I went into this diatribe about this is no dress rehearsal, and YOLO and go do it. So, work on your budget and go if you can. I'm a bad influence. I know. But I did the same thing when Jennifer found out she could go to spring bank school last year, and she absolutely loved it. So there you go. Mm. Definitely so. I mean, you could eat beans for a while, right? I mean, it's good fiber, something like that. Again, I'm a bad influence. Um, Goodness. Oh, now we're on to a Kilhoman bourbon cask, 62%. Mm. Whew. That's pretty stout. But sometimes you can handle that straight out, and it's just, and add a little water, do a little bit of that. This is only 53, but it might be. Actually, I'm going to see what it would do with a little water. I got a little bit left. So is anything in particular y'all are looking forward to for this year as far as what new bottlings or experiences? I'd like to maybe be able to go back to Scotland in the fall because I really like the fall. But I'm pretty stoked about being able to get back for this little quick trip. Got real citrusy on the nose after I put water in it, and a little more malty. I have to say, I have been away from whiskey for a little bit, so it's like everything has reset. Definitely got more malty on the taste as well. Really, that's a good dram. And that was the other thing. So first of all, I mean, I'm not ever going to get one of these. Like Milton Duff is not something you find. And I should have done more research, but I'm pretty sure it's something that makes up something else, right? But to have a single cask of this, and this 11-year-old was probably, I want to say, like $80. That's another huge advantage of independent bottlers. Things that brands you can't get, or distilleries you can't get, spirit you can't get access to, and then be able to have it reasonably. Now, some of these folks are real precious about their whiskey. I've got a beef. I've had a beef with one particular one here for a little while, and I'm trying to decide what I want to do about it. But like the Lady of the Glen, what was it? The one I bought. Where'd it go? Oh, the Dramore Daluin Port. Holy moly. Got that one from Melissa and Howard at Scotch Drinkers Only. Hella good. I think it was $90 for that. And it's outrageously tasty. So again, something to think about. And see, this is the beauty of it, So you're meeting some folks. Roy was involved with connecting there in Western Australia, and you're getting to go. Also trying to go to Tasmania as a goal. That's what it's all about. You're trying to figure out like where you want to go, what you want to do. The connections people make are amazing, right? They're just, hey, I know somebody, one of the things I'm doing is because of somebody I met in 2019, and it just keeps going and keeps going. Just all crazy. So Jerry says this year is all about getting enough bottles off the shelf that your wife can put some of the family pictures back on them. Now see, it is all about priority. She's just like, take up that cross and bear it, there, Jerry. But I will say, oh, by the way, how you like my hairy coo? I got him on clearance at Walmart afterwards, and I was like, I know it's not Christmas time anymore, but I have to light him up. He's just so cute. Um, but Jennifer, I can't see it, but Jennifer, there's pictures right there on my whiskey shelf. So it can be done. You got this, Jerry. Ain't no hill for a stepper. You get it. um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have more purposeful buying this year for sure. Try to pull back on that, and I've done an inventory of everything. Kind of want to look for some gaps, and then really plan things out and get to enjoy my whiskey a little bit more. I don't need any more bottles, but I want them. Anyway, so that's where we are right now, folks. I appreciate y'all being here tonight. Again, sorry for the late notice. I was not confident we would have had electricity today. Shout out to Entergy, and the fact that we have snow and not ice. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun year. I'm looking forward to it. You know, straight ahead. Oh, Rick's asking, do I have a spreadsheet? Do I have a spreadsheet? Do I have a spreadsheet? I have a spreadsheet with name, rank, and serial number to the point of is it open, is it not open, color coded if it's not open, and where I got it, approximately how much it was, if it's associated, and I actually have, I would say 3/4 of my samples are also in a spreadsheet because I think it's really, really important if someone sends you a sample to try to catalog that and get back to them as to how you've enjoyed it. So we'll do that. We did a blind challenge at the end of last year. We're going to do a couple more of those this year, which is a lot of fun. Again, our channel members and Patreon members are helping so much, and they're helping me get back to Scotland, which is a really big deal. So that's really pretty cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. But we'll be back first Tuesday in February. They'll be right before we go down to New Orleans for the Super Bowl party and to pour in PAX, which I'm looking forward to in this really cool environment. And I'm looking forward to a good year, y'all. Like I said, you can't take your health for granted. You got to really listen to your body and do what's right by it. And again, I appreciate everybody being patient while I got some things figured out. But we're on the road, feeling better, getting healthy. And I am looking forward to seeing you all this year. We're going to have a lot of fun. And by the next time we meet, I'll probably have my itinerary for Scotland figured out, and maybe have some more surprises. So appreciate it. Happy New Year. And Sandra, y'all.